I wanted to make sure you guys knew, though, the rest of the pack is fine. The only reason my stuff is like that is because I'm coming from 1.11. What's up, people? I'm Xogue, back on Halfway Modded. Now, before anybody freaks out, 1, this is intentional, and 2, the series is not ending. I know that's kind of a concern for some people. Now, what do I mean by intentional? You see, we're now on Minecraft 1.12. And me, being the stingy, really want to keep what I had going person that I am, and, you know, we're invaders, so of course I'm selfish, you know, I'm taking from the planet. So yeah, being who I am, I wanted to keep the island. Of course, this is our spaceship. For whatever reason, this is a wacky looking spaceship, but it's still ours. And I wanted to keep that so we could actually do some stuff. Now, you see these guys right here. This is my saving grace as far as the shape of the island is concerned. This is all I have to go on for the shape of the island are these terracotta blocks. Buttons, rather. Terracotta buttons. But, yes, we are now in 1.12, which means I did update the pack. I wanted to make sure you guys knew, though, the rest of the pack is fine. The only reason my stuff is like that is because I'm coming from 1.11. And the mods don't know what item numbers they were using, what ID numbers for each of the blocks. They had no idea, so they shuffled them around. And that's why some things turned into other things and lots of things need to be updated. The only thing that doesn't change in a situation like this are the vanilla blocks, because vanilla never changes its ID. So dirt is always going to be dirt, water will always be water, stone will always be stone, etc., etc. And sandstone? Oh, you know what? This is where we dropped that bomb from the helper tools, which we no longer have. That brings me to the next point. We did remove a lot of things. Not a lot, actually. Not a huge amount. And the reason... Okay, before I say what was removed, the reason I actually removed them was because the longer I waited to update to 1.12, the more painful this transition was going to be. And I knew I had to get to 1.12. And if I had waited any longer, there may have been a point in time where I just had to scratch the world and start from, well, scratch. Scrap the world is what that word should have been. Scrap the world and start from scratch. Anyway. So I went ahead and I did it now, and it took me several hours to figure out how to get in here. First, I tried MC Edit, which seemed to work at first, but the world, it wasn't active. I don't know how to explain it, but basically all of the entities, including the villagers, well, mainly the villagers, and like, oh, that's so loud. And all of the, you know, like llamas that were on the ground and all of the things like that, they weren't moving and they weren't actual entities. They were like they were items, but they weren't, because I couldn't break them. So they weren't actually items, but they weren't entities either. They weren't making any noise. They weren't moving around. They weren't doing anything. Anyway, moving on. Cutting myself off there for obvious reasons. Mr. Rambler. Anyway, so, yeah. That stuff had to happen. It's going to be a while. But we're going to remake this. And I'm going to do all of the fixing off of camera. As well as the slime farm. Yes, I did sacrifice all of the work we did on the slime farm. I certainly did. The Enderman farm. The Guardian farm. Yeah, I did that one too. The reason I did those things is because they're much more trivial to do in creative mode. They're really not all that difficult to do in creative mode. For example, the Guardian farm, I can do /fill, replace water with air kind of a thing. After I fill in the sides with probably glass or whatever, then, you know, the monument will be cleared out and we're basically in the exact same position that we were initially. So that's a good thing. That's where I want to be. As far as the slime farm, I think what we're going to do is do some of the dynamite. Oh, right, we don't have helper tools. Never mind. I'm going to blow up dynamite or something along the lines and just kind of do that a while after I find the slime chunks. Hopefully I can find a very similar setup. But if not, I'm just going to make it blown up and make it look like that. So we have something similar to work with. And that way we can continue that aspect of the story. The Mine colonies, we still have those guys. Those guys are in the pack. That was one of the big things I wanted to make sure I kept. So they are here, and what's going to happen, in order to get the entire island, I actually have to chop off some of the roof of the warehouse. This is the roof of the warehouse from the other world that I had to copy and paste in here. And you notice, of course, the mine colonists, they build with, vanilla blocks, so they're fully intact. That's exactly what the roof of the warehouse looks like. But anyway, the mine colonists now have more room to expand, less hills, but there are still some hills, for example, right here, and just other things that just kind of work out pretty well, that I think it's just going to be better for them, as well as the fact that I had, past tense, had underground biomes. This is the main reason for the change. Okay, in theory, I could have just loaded the new world into 1.12 and dealt with the repercussions, and we could have kept the world and everything. But because I had to remove underground biomes in order to actually update to 1.12, that's why I started a new world. Because the old world, basically the entirety of the underground, except for very, very small pockets of regular stone and, these kinds of blocks, would have been present. Just very, very tiny pockets. Everything else, down to bedrock, would have been removed. There would have been no underground anywhere on the map except in newly generated chunks. So that's kind of a no-go, and it was just bad. It was so bad. So can't really do that. And I decided to go to a new world because I think it was better. It's more consistent, so we don't have the tears in the world, which were kind of cool, but still, you don't really want those. And it's just kind of stuff like that. It's going to work out, I think. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, I do, again, like I said, I have a lot of work to do. Other than rebuilding these and the farms that I lost, I also need to find some shaders that work, because I do want to bring back the shaders. This video, for now, has no shaders. And Optifine needs to be added. Replay Mod needs to be added. I need to see if I can get all those things working. I need to test them in various things and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so that's a thing. So that has to be done. And I did get to keep my item, or at least most of my items. Okay, there were a few mods that were removed. Actually, let me go over the mods real quick, okay? This is going to take, I don't know what you want to call it, a little bit of time, I guess. I'm going to have to leave the screen, is what I was trying to say, though. Ancient trees is removed, which we didn't even use at all. So that's no problem. Aquaculture. Aquaculture was an interesting one because it did change the way water worked, but not as far as what you could see. The squid were still there, the guardians were still there, all of that kind of stuff was still there. There was no issues with that, and it didn't change anything there. It more or less changed the fishing system, which was kind of an interesting concept, but really we weren't going to mess with it too much anyway, so again, that's not a very big loss. Then, let's see, Bibliocraft Woods, or Biblio Woods, the Biomes of Plenty edition. Basically, Bibliocraft is here, so we have all of the Biblio everything here, okay? But what we don't have is, you see the various versions of everything, how everything has a different wood type? Well, there is a pack that makes all of the Biomes of Plenty woods available for Bibliocraft to, you can make the shelves out of it, out of the new Biomes of Plenty wood and so on and so forth. And basically everything had a Biomes of Plenty version. Well, that add-on pack for Bibliocraft is gone. We don't have that anymore. Let's see. Next. Oh, right. Why do we have everything in chests? Because this one, and this was painful, easy storage is no more. There is no easy storage for Minecraft 1.12. This is very unfortunate. I do not like this, but we will deal with it. We will handle it, and there may or may not be more ads. Just a side note from all these mod removals. There may or may not be more mods added to replace the other ones that were taken out, just to kind of ease the transition a little bit and make certain things easier. Because I do think inventory management is one thing, almost the first thing. It should be addressed in a modded pack for Minecraft, because the inventory management system of vanilla Minecraft is horrid. It's terrible. I mean, that's a small amount of storage. I'm glad these actually stayed. I'm curious if the contents of them transferred over. Ooh, actually they did. Where's my highlight? Do I not get a highlight? I do. I don't know. Anyway, we'll investigate that later. I don't think there was anything in the other one. So we got some of that stuff that was good to go. Let's see what else was removed. Helper tools, like I told you, those builder wands and everything. Those are also gone. The bombs that made like the dirt and the sand and the falling sand and all the crazy, awesome, weird stuff that we could have just kind of played with a little bit. Those are also gone. Advancement made. Sweet dreams. So that's cool. Sweet dreams, game. It's weird that you actually tell me that. Change your respawn point. Okay, that's an advancement. Got it. Cool. Anyway, so yes, impractical storage is also gone, which was the cool storage mod that kind of stored your stuff in an actual big area. It was very impractical, such the name, impractical storage, but it was also very cool, and I wanted to play with it, but unfortunately that was removed. Just enough biomes, that was the golden biome thing, and the white ash biome, that we had a couple of white ash planks up here around the border. Those are removed, as well as the black ash and some of the other ones we didn't actually mention or visit very often. What else do we got? We have Potion Core, quality tools. Okay, Potion Core was needed for quality tools. All right, now quality tools is, as you probably already know just by the name, that's what gave us the special features on this. That's what made them, I don't know, broken or cracked or whatever special attachment there was, special feature for them that changed their stats. That's what did that. So that's gone, so we no longer have the special stuff for those. Likewise, the tool upgrades mod is also gone. Now, for whatever reason, the upgrades are still there. We still have looting 8 and efficiency 8 on a lot of these guys, which is good because they're cool and all, but I'm inevitably going to break them. So that's a thing. I actually already broke Donatello, and I did not replace it before I moved over here. I did not replace it before we came to 112. So now that's already one pick we're down for efficiency 8, which is really unfortunate. The Space Age mod, which was the one that I wanted to play with in the future, but that's already removed. It wasn't a big loss. We didn't do anything in the space. And stuff. Underground biomes construct. I already talked about that one. That was already a thing, and I told you all about that, why we moved to this world, etc., etc. So I'm not going to go over that. Vegan alternative was another one. It's a very interesting thing. It gives alternatives for all of the animal products, which means when you kill a cow, you get beef and you get leather. There are a vegan alternative offered ways to get leather and meat or food without having to kill the animals. So there's, a naturistic way to get those items. And it was really kind of cool. It was interesting, but at the end of the day, we're still going to make our farms, so it's not the most important thing for us. We have llamas right there. That is so... Oh, I tried to zoom. Zooming didn't work because I don't have Optifine right now. But that's just kind of what I'm, where we're at right now. Unfortunately, all of this is going to take a huge amount of time to fix, which means I don't really have a whole lot of time to do a proper episode. And unfortunately, that means you guys do have to, I wouldn't say suffer, because it's kind of cool seeing all this stuff, but you do need to deal with this episode being the one that comes out today and not anything else. Which is really unfortunate. I would have loved to have all of this handled and set up and fixed by the time we are ready to do things, but alas, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to do my best to make sure that over the next couple of days I get everything fixed that was destroyed. I will be doing it in creative mode, naturally, for obvious reasons, and yeah, I'm also going to try to revisit and figure out what mods we can replace. All the ones we lost may or may not have an alternative or something, some other mod that does something similar. So that's a thing. Also, I'm pretty sure I have decided to add in the magic mods. Now, this is something I really wanted to explain because well, a couple people have expressed concerns that it's not aligned with the halfway modded feel that this pack has. And if you feel that way, I'm sorry, but I don't feel the same way. I don't think the magic mods take away from anything. I feel like it's just a different path you can take in the mod pack. I don't think it takes anything from the feel. In my mind, a pack stops being halfway when you start to add power into it. When you get RF into it. Now, the reason I say this is because power is where everything changes. With power comes completely automated inventory management systems. Comes automatic sorting systems. All of these other, things that just are done for you. You develop these systems so that you don't have to do a thing. All of these automatic systems, like AD2, the super high-powered thing, or even refined storage that's a little bit lower key and easier to use, but still it requires power. RF tools going to other dimensions requires power. All of these things that you do with power, that is what supercharges it. Like the OP armor from Draconic Evolution. Stuff is amazing and it's fantastic, but it's not halfway modded. So I think adding in the magic, it doesn't move us past halfway modded. I feel like that's the thing that's going to get us to halfway. And with those added magic mods, if they're available for 112 / when they're available for 112, I'm going to add in the ones I can for obvious reasons. If they're not available for 112, we can't add them in, but I'm going to add those in, and then I'm going to try to work on releasing the pack now that it is 112 worthy. I believe we have gotten enough mods for a good, solid, content-worthy, quality playthrough of the pack. I think there is enough here to play with, to do things with. If you're a builder, if you're an explorer, if you're, a redstoner even, you can do all of these things. Every person should have something they can do in the mod pack. And that was pretty much the key. Once it turned over from, its original intent, and that is to remake the Life in the Woods pack, and once it morphed into what I was managing for me, that's when the goal changed. That's when the goal became what I just mentioned. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I think it's there after the magic mods are added in. And it's going to be amazing, but I do have a lot of work to do, guys. Hopefully I can get it all done before the next episode. If not, I'm going to try to come up with something, and you might see slight discrepancies in things, but I think overall it's going to be okay, and it'll just kind of work out, I hope. But that is about all the time I have for the episode. I got a lot of things to do, guys. So if you like the video, if you like the fact that the pack is coming out, if you like the fact that it's for 112 now, please do hit that like button and subscribe to see more. Also, check out the bottom for Twitter links, Patreon links, Discord links, all the crazy links that you can come and chat with me, give me suggestions, tell me what's up with you, and just kind of chill. Chill out, talk, chat, whatever. Then, yeah, go down there and check them out. But thank you so much for watching. Do what you do, and I will see you next time. Hopefully when everything's fixed. Peace out, peeps.